Maya Johnson walked into her 10-year high school reunion wearing a designer gown worth $15,000. Cameras flashed. People whispered. The girl they called ugly and too dark was now on the cover of Vogue magazine. Her main bully, Jessica Martinez, stood frozen in the corner. The same girl who made Maya cry every day in high school. The girl who said Maya would never be pretty enough for anything. Jessica was now working at a local salon, struggling to pay rent. In the next 20 minutes, Maya would give a speech that would make half the room cry with shame and the other half stand up and applaud. This is a story about how cruelty comes back to haunt you, and how the person you underestimate might become everything you wish you were. Before we dive into this powerful story of transformation and justice, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more inspiring stories about people who proved their bullies wrong. Now let's see how Maya went from being the most bullied girl in school to walking runways in Paris and Milan. Maya Johnson grew up in a small town in Georgia. She was the only black girl in her grade at Riverside High School. Her family wasn't wealthy. Her mother worked as a nurse and her father was a mechanic. They gave Maya everything they could, but they couldn't afford designer clothes or the latest trends. Maya was tall for her age, 5'10" by the time she was 15. She was skinny, with long limbs that made her feel awkward. Her skin was dark brown, beautiful by any objective standard, but in that small town in 2012, colorism was still strong. People made comments, kids whispered, but Maya had something special. She loved fashion. She would sketch designs in her notebook during class. She dreamed of becoming a model, even though everyone told her she wasn't the right type. Too tall, too dark, too quiet, too different. Jessica Martinez was the popular girl. She was pretty, confident, and came from the wealthiest family in town. Her father owned 3 car dealerships. Jessica always had the newest iPhone, the best clothes, the coolest friends. Jessica was also cruel. She had learned that putting others down made her feel powerful, and her favorite target was Maya. It started in 9th grade. Jessica made a comment about Maya's skin tone in front of the whole cafeteria. "Maybe if you stayed out of the sun, you wouldn't be so dark," she said, laughing. Her friends laughed too. Maya ran to the bathroom and cried. From that day forward, Jessica made Maya's life miserable. She called her giraffe because of her height. She said Maya's hair was nappy. She told boys that Maya was too ugly to date. Other students joined in because they were afraid to be Jessica's next target. Maya spent lunch periods in the library. She ate alone. She stopped raising her hand in class because she didn't want attention. High school became 4 years of surviving, not thriving. In senior year, a modeling scout visited their town for a small fashion show fundraiser. The scout, a woman named Claire from Atlanta, saw Maya walking down the hallway after school. "Excuse me," Claire said, stopping Maya. "Have you ever thought about modeling?" Maya laughed bitterly. "People tell me I'm too ugly to be seen." Claire looked shocked. "Too ugly? Sweetheart, you have one of the most striking faces I've ever seen. You're editorial, high fashion. Do you have a portfolio?" Maya showed Claire her sketches. Claire's eyes widened. "You're talented. Listen, I'm giving you my card. When you graduate, if you want to try modeling in Atlanta, call me." Maya took the card but didn't believe anything would come of it. She'd been told she wasn't good enough too many times. At graduation, Jessica gave a speech as valedictorian. She talked about reaching for your dreams and being kind to others. Maya sat in the back row, thinking about how fake Jessica was. Jessica had never been kind a day in her life. After graduation, most students stayed in town or went to the local college. Jessica got engaged to her high school boyfriend, Tyler, who worked at his father's construction company. She planned a big wedding and started working at her aunt's hair salon. Maya made a different choice. She called Claire. Moving to Atlanta at 18 was terrifying. Maya lived in a tiny apartment with 3 roommates. She worked part-time at a coffee shop while going to casting calls. Claire introduced her to agencies, but the rejections piled up. "You're too tall. Your look is too specific. We already have a black model. Can you lose weight? Can you straighten your hair?" Every rejection felt like Jessica's voice in her head. "You're not pretty enough." Maya called her mother, crying multiple times. "Maybe I should come home. Maybe they were right about me." Her mother said, "Baby, the right people will see what I see. Keep going." For 6 months, Maya barely booked any work. She did a few small catalog shoots that paid almost nothing. She modeled for a local boutique's Instagram page. She walked in one small fashion show at a mall. Meanwhile, back home, Jessica posted constantly on social media about her perfect life. Her engagement photos were everywhere. She was planning an expensive wedding. She posted photos of herself at the salon with captions like "Living my best life" and "Small town girl with big dreams." Maya wanted to quit so badly, but something kept her going, a stubborn refusal to let Jessica be right about her. Then, at a casting call for New York Fashion Week, something changed. A famous photographer named Andre Cole was sitting in on auditions. He was known for launching the careers of several supermodels. When Maya walked in, he sat up straight. "Stop," he said. "Turn around slowly." Maya did, her heart pounding. "You're perfect," Andre said. "Absolutely perfect. Who represents you?" Maya stammered her agency's name. Andre made a phone call right there. "I want this girl for the Jean Paul Beaumont show, and I want to shoot her for my next editorial." Everything changed in that moment. Within weeks, Maya was walking in New York Fashion Week. Not as an extra, as a featured model. The Jean Paul Beaumont show was one of the most prestigious. Editors from Vogue, Elle, and Harper's Bazaar were in the audience. Maya's face was different, editorial, striking. The same features that Jessica had mocked. Her full lips, her high cheekbones, her dark skin, were exactly what high fashion wanted. After the show, 3 major agencies tried to sign her. She chose one of the top agencies in the world, IMG Models. Over the next 2 years, Maya's career exploded. She walked for Versace, Prada, Valentino, and Chanel. She appeared in campaigns for major beauty brands. Her face was on billboards in Times Square. Fashion magazines called her the next great supermodel. But the biggest moment came when American Vogue called. They wanted her for a cover shoot. Not just any cover, a solo cover. One of the most prestigious honors in modeling. The day Maya saw herself on the cover of Vogue, she cried. Not sad tears, happy tears, proud tears. The girl who was told she was too ugly, too dark, too different was now on the cover of the world's most famous fashion magazine. She sent a copy to her parents. Her father framed it and hung it in their living room. Maya didn't post it on social media to brag. She didn't need to. The news spread on its own. Fashion websites wrote articles. Her hometown newspaper ran a feature. "Local girl makes it big in fashion world." Back home, people started talking. "That's Tanya Johnson. Remember her from high school?" Jessica saw the Vogue cover while scrolling through Instagram. Her stomach dropped. That quiet, ugly girl she'd tormented was now one of the most famous models in the world. Jessica's own life had hit some rough patches. Her engagement fell apart when Tyler cheated on her with one of her bridesmaids. She was still working at the salon, barely making ends meet, living with her parents because rent was too expensive. She told her friends, "I always knew Maya would do something. We were actually friends in high school." But that was a lie, and several people knew it. Then the invitation arrived, 10-year high school reunion. Maya wasn't sure if she should go. She was busy. She had shoots scheduled. But something made her want to face that place one more time. Not for revenge, but for closure. She RSVP'd yes. The reunion was held at the Riverside Hotel, the nicest venue in town. Maya arrived in a chauffeur-driven car, wearing a custom Valentino gown. Her hair was styled by one of the top stylists in New York. Her makeup was flawless. When she walked into the ballroom, conversations stopped. People literally stopped mid-sentence and stared. "Is that Tanya Johnson?" someone whispered. "Oh my God, it is. She's on the cover of Vogue. I heard she makes $50,000 per show now." Jessica was standing near the bar with her old friend group. She saw Maya enter and felt her face burn with embarrassment. The girl she'd called ugly was now the most beautiful woman in the room. The girl she'd called worthless was now worth millions. Maya greeted old classmates warmly. The few people who had been kind to her got genuine hugs. The people who had ignored her got polite smiles. The people who had bullied her got nothing. She simply walked past them as if they didn't exist. That non-acknowledgement hurt worse than any confrontation. The reunion organizer, Mr. Peterson, their old principal, asked Maya if she'd say a few words. He was proud to have such a successful alumna present. Maya took the microphone. The room went silent. "Thank you all for inviting me tonight," Maya began, her voice steady. 10 years ago, I graduated from this school, and I'm going to be honest, high school was the hardest time of my life." People shifted uncomfortably. "I was bullied almost every single day. I was told I was too ugly, too dark, too tall, too awkward. I was told I would never amount to anything. I ate lunch alone in the library because I was afraid to sit in the cafeteria." Jessica stared at the floor. "There were days I didn't want to come to school, days I cried in my mother's arms, days I believed what people said about me, that I wasn't good enough." The room was completely silent now. Some people looked ashamed. Others looked surprised, as if they'd never realized how bad it was. But I want to thank those people, Maya continued, her voice stronger now, because you taught me something valuable. You taught me that other people's opinions don't define me. You taught me that the things people mock you for might be your greatest strengths. You taught me to never, ever give up on myself even when everyone else has. She paused. I'm not here for revenge. I'm not here to make anyone feel bad. I'm here because I wanted to face this place one more time and realize that it doesn't have power over me anymore. People started clapping. Slowly at first, then louder. Some people were crying, both from shame and from inspiration. To anyone here who's struggling, who feels like they're not good enough, who's being told they'll never succeed, don't believe it. I was that person. And look at me now. The applause grew louder. Maya smiled and handed the microphone back. After her speech, Maya walked toward the exit. She was ready to leave. She'd said what she needed to say, but Jessica stepped into her path. Maya, wait, Jessica said, her voice shaking. Maya stopped and looked at her former bully. Up close, Jessica looked tired, worn down. Her confidence from high school was gone. I need to apologize, Jessica said, for everything. I was terrible to you. I said horrible things. I made your life hell, and I'm so sorry. Maya studied her for a moment. Why are you apologizing now, Jessica? Because I'm successful. Would you be apologizing if I was still the quiet girl working at a coffee shop? Jessica's eyes filled with tears. I don't know, maybe not, but seeing you tonight, hearing your speech, I realized how cruel I was. I was insecure and mean, and I took it out on you. You were more than mean, Maya said quietly. You were cruel. You made me hate myself for years. Do you know how long it took me to believe I was beautiful? To believe I deserved good things? I know, I'm so sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me. Maya took a breath. I don't forgive you, Jessica. Not yet, maybe not ever, but I don't hate you either. I actually feel sorry for you. Because while I was building a life I love, you were building yours on putting others down. And that kind of foundation never lasts. Jessica sobbed openly now. Other people were watching, but Maya didn't care. I hope you become a better person, Maya said. I really do, but your apology doesn't change what you did, it just makes you feel better. Maya walked past Jessica and out the door. She felt lighter, free. That chapter was finally closed. The story of Maya's speech spread through the small town within days. The local newspaper wrote about it. People posted about it on social media. Several former classmates reached out to Maya privately to apologize for their silence during the bullying. Jessica deactivated her social media accounts for a while. According to mutual friends, she enrolled in therapy and started working on herself. Some people said she'd learned her lesson. Others said it was too little, too late. Maya returned to New York and continued her career. She landed more major campaigns. She walked in Paris Fashion Week and Milan Fashion Week. She became a spokesperson for a major cosmetics brand with her face in every department store. But the most important thing she did was start speaking to young girls about bullying and self-esteem. She partnered with several anti-bullying organizations. She visited schools and shared her story. In an interview with Teen Vogue, Maya talked about her experience. People ask me if I'm happy that I proved my bullies wrong. Honestly, I didn't succeed to prove anyone wrong. I succeeded to prove myself right. I had to prove to that scared 15-year-old girl that she was enough, that she was beautiful, that she deserved to dream big. The interviewer asked if she forgave Jessica. Forgiveness is complicated, Maya said. I don't carry anger anymore, but forgiving someone who caused you deep pain takes time. Maybe someday. But I don't owe anyone my forgiveness just to make them feel better about what they did to me. She continued. What happened to me happens to so many kids. They're told they're not pretty enough, not thin enough, not light enough, not masculine enough, not feminine enough. And those words stick. They become voices in your head that try to stop you from becoming who you're meant to be. My message is this: don't let those voices win. The things people mock you for might be your greatest strengths. My height, my skin tone, my different look, those were the exact things that made me successful. What they called flaws were actually my advantages. The interview went viral. Millions of young people shared it. Teachers used it in classrooms. Parents showed it to their children. Maya's story inspired people around the world. She received thousands of messages from young people who said she gave them hope. One message came from a 14-year-old black girl in Ohio. I'm getting bullied for my skin color just like you were, but seeing you succeed makes me believe I can too. Thank you for not giving up. Maya cried reading that message. She realized her success was about more than just her. It was about showing other kids that they could make it too. She started a foundation called Project Runway Dreams that provided resources for young people from small towns who wanted to pursue careers in fashion and modeling. She gave scholarships. She connected kids with mentors. She created opportunities that she wished she'd had. Jessica, according to people who knew her, eventually left the salon and went back to school. She became a counselor working with at-risk youth. Whether she did it out of genuine change or guilt, no one knew for sure. But she spent her time trying to prevent kids from becoming bullies like she had been 3 years after the reunion. Maya was invited to give the commencement speech at Riverside High School. She stood on the same stage where Jessica once gave her hypocritical speech about kindness. This time, Maya spoke the truth. Your words have power. The things you say to people, especially when they're young and vulnerable, stay with them. You can destroy someone with your words, or you can build them up. Choose to build. And to anyone being bullied right now, this is not forever. This moment in your life is not your whole story. You will leave this place and you will find people who see your value. You will find places where your differences are celebrated, not mocked. Hold on. Keep going. I promise you it gets better. The girl I was at 15 would never believe she'd be standing here today, but she survived. She persisted. She proved that our value doesn't come from people who can't see it. Our value is inherent. We are worthy simply because we exist. The students gave her a standing ovation. Several were crying. Teachers were crying. Maya looked out at the audience and saw a skinny black girl in the third row, sitting alone, looking uncomfortable. Maya made eye contact with her and smiled. The girl smiled back, tears in her eyes. After the speech, that girl came up to Maya. "Thank you," she whispered. "I needed to hear that." Maya hugged her. "You're going to make it. I promise." And she knew it was true. Because if Maya could go from the most bullied girl in school to a runway superstar, anyone could overcome their circumstances. The lesson was simple but profound. Never let anyone else write your story. You are the author. You are the one who decides what you become. And the opinion of people who tear others down means nothing in the end. If this story inspired you or reminded you that you're stronger than people's words, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We share real stories about overcoming adversity, proving doubters wrong, and finding your true worth. Drop a comment and tell us, were you ever bullied? How did you overcome it? Or if you're going through it now, know that we see you and you matter. Hit that notification bell so you never miss stories about people who refuse to give up on their dreams. Thank you for watching, and remember, your differences aren't flaws. They're your superpowers. See you in the next story.